Hello, we are with you for EQ versus StarBits X Hypnos. You might have seen a couple of fights already with StarBits taking the advantage here, and Central Apan going down to the bomb, or Apan going down to the bomb. That's really a rough start after winning the first fight away from our commentary. The rest of the fights have gone into StarBits' favor, and my word, it does not look good for VQ, at least on Control Center. Feels like they're trying to play something that's not quite working into what StarBits is running, but Sodive takes down Central Apan and not going to be able to touch while using the Sundering Blade is Karama. Doesn't get the touch eventually. And this is a quick 1-0 up on Lijiang Tower for StarBits.
Yeah, it was a very good performance here from VanirQuick. I'm wondering if they're going to play a little bit better here. For sure, I'm a little lost. I'm not going to lie. Kind of tuned in halfway through here, so we're gonna see what happens here on round 2 on Lijiang.
Yeah, going into Garden, you can see Tomex switching over to the Juno. Whether that will just be to get them out spawn quicker, we will see. Yep, switches back to the Kiriko immediately. Not a surprise there. And Rav going over to this Pharah is going to be an interesting one to see. It'll be a lot on Peekaboo to try and take down the Pharah from the skies, but having lost Rod FD to start off this one as well, VQ just not getting the opening picks in these fights. It's a bit of an issue for them. Trying to go forwards, not quite there at the moment, but Peekaboo doing the job of the hit scan, taking that Pharah straight out of the air, and now they look to get to the objective. They were able to get objective first in the last point of Control Center, but you can look at them, they're being surrounded. Rod FD comes back, but with Central Apan down, it looks like they're going to have to give up the objective once again.
Yeah, Vanir losing that pick early didn't seem to hurt them too bad. I'm surprised that we're going to stay on the Farah pick here. We'll see what happens. Controlling the bridge quite well, trying not to get booped off, and we walk back point here.
Central Apan
both teams are trying to find their
as
picks.
well. Decides to mirror it. It's not a bad idea. You can see that clearly the Orisa wasn't working. The maneuverability of the D.Va being able to get into the backline was just finding early picks for StarBits, but the rest of the team still there at the moment. Central Apan going down low, but Tomex does have that Kitsune rush to try and get things going forwards. The rest of the team trying to burst off the back of it as well. And now look to engage onto the point. They look to have most of the control. And with Margin going out of mech and immediately down to Karama, looks like they could be in the ascendancy. But Rav takes down Peekaboo for one as well. And they're investing into this as StarBits. And potentially it's a bit of an overinvest into a point that they've already lost. They do keep control of the point over 50%, but it's a lot of ultimates put in there to lose that fight.
Yeah, I mean the very quick pick there on Tamajin was just devastating. The follow-up from the rest of the team, very good, very well played. I'm wondering if they're gonna have ults to work this out here. I don't know if it's going to be enough. We do have beat available, ready to go, but Slowdive down quick as well. Kurama also down as well from the boop from Farah. That's pretty scary. Peekaboo with the overclock. I don't think we're going to find the pick, unfortunately.
Yeah, they kite it well. They see the OC come out, and they only lose one to it. With Slowdive probably coming back quickly, it's going to help them. Peekaboo with that engage, with the beat, taken down by the combination of Majin and Doki. And from there, it seems like everything is going back in the way of StarBits. They do have the one ult used, but Rav's already close to another barrage, and coming into this, Karama getting close to that Sundering Blade. Gonna get it online quickly, but the spam's just too good. Peekaboo dies down main from Doki with the help of Rav as well, and now with this barrage online, that could be absolutely devastating for them. They're still trying to find picks, though, through this main engage window. And again, Peekaboo, you gotta stop playing Peekaboo through the point. You can't keep losing picks here so early.
They do
That's
have
not
Kitsune
what you
Rush,
want to
but
see.
you can't use it just to get out of spawn. It's too impactful of an ultimate to use that, surely. They've got to take some space here, and a lot of it is going to come down to whether Central Apan can get them forwards here. Majin goes into the backline, does have the bomb in the back pocket, but that's a big kill onto Rav. Tries to use that barrage and doesn't get the best of it. Instead goes down to Central Apan. And now with 99% on the point, they try and push forwards. Sundering Blade doesn't find anyone, but it's pushed the rest of the team back towards the spawn of VanirQuick, so they're penned in. There's nowhere for them to run. They can't go back into the spawn here. Peekaboo getting 2, Doki getting 1 as well, but the point is under threat. Majin coming back, still trying to play their life. With Nyx there as well, they can just chill for the moment. A lot of ults coming online for StarBits, and immediately they invest. The beat out is going to make sure that this override protocol isn't going to get much early, but from there it could be a time to invest something else. They do manage to wait it out, and the Kitsune Rush is going to be big here as it approaches 91% for VanirQuick. They've got to go now to StarBits. They have the Kitsune Rush of their own. They decide to wait to be able to use it. Majin goes to the point knowing you can be a sacrificial lamb. Has that remake available if needed, but Slowdive going down to Kurama is a big early pick. 5v4 now for VanirQuick as they look to get back into Lijiang Tower. The D-Mech is used by Central Apan and able to get back into the mech as well. That's a big play. Peekaboo goes down, but the kills are going red for VanirQuick, and with that boop off the map onto Doki as well, this could be curtains. And indeed it is. They force Majin out of the mech and not able to touch as the unmech Diva. VanirQuick go 1-1, and it looks like it should be a good battle here for Night Market and see who goes up 1-0 in this series.
Unbelievable turnaround there from VanirQuick. It was looking a little bit shaky there, right around the midpoint. They took a little bit of space, but they got picked off twice early by Rav there. Or sorry, Slowdive, and that was really sketchy. But they got one pick, and they just cascaded and they kept contesting the point. So the retake value is extremely well played from VanirQuick there.
You're going to see Rav switch back onto the Vendetta. Not too much of a surprise. Garden's a little bit open. You can play the Pharah a little bit more, but you can see Peekaboo opting to go for this Sojourn instead of the Emre, which has been the main choice. Just the ability to have just a bit of a better understanding of the character at the moment, I assume. Doki goes down low, though, and without any way to get out, Kurama and Central Apan dive immediately, taking out that Kiriko. It's going to be a huge pick going into this. The rest of the team just has to wait around the outside of the point. They can't engage now, and it means that VanirQuick get early point control.
That's not what you love to see. The early pick there is really bad, but I think Team StarBits have been playing so well that I think it's not going to matter too much. I think they're going to be able to clutch this out. They're really good at finding those picks super early, especially in these weird scenarios here. And I think we might be seeing it here as Kurama falls from this huge amount of damage coming out from Team StarBits here. Central Lapland falls. I think we're going to get a third here on the Tom X, and I think they're going to retake this point. Yes, they do. Excellently well played. Just a huge push here from this team. Lots of damage coming out all at once.
Yeah, and you look at Nyx building that beat early. Got Doki just about leading Tom X in the Kitsune Rush race as well, so could be something to look at into the future, but Rav just trying to stop that dive in from Kurama, and that's exactly what they're able to do. Just not able to get back with the rest of the team stuck in. We know that Feast or Famine is exactly what Vendetta is capable of, and it looks like Famine at the moment for Kurama.
That's unfortunate, but we have seen a lot of Feast come through from this character and this player. I believe it's going to come to fruition very shortly with the Sundering Blade coming up very soon, but 4 ults available for Team StarBits here. Peekaboo falling to the nade from Slowdive. Not great. Kurama also falling. Team Vanir is going to have to back off here. Tom X also going down as well. Brutal to see here for Team Vanir.
Yeah, 3 ults to fight back for VQ, but the 4 on the other side is just going to be a mountain to climb as they're already down 30%. And they didn't force any ults out of StarBits there. Just Peekaboo going down immediately means that they don't have to pop them. The beat is there to counter this overclock, and immediately they just go zooming straight into Peekaboo. Now the ults come out, and everything is keeping VanirQuick at bay. 3 ults still left on the table for StarBits. Yes, one of them is a D.Va bomb, so it's not exactly what you want, but at the same time, it's pretty much the same 3 that are on the board for VQ. They do have an uncontested beat, which might get them control of the objective. And now they go in immediately. Kitsune Rush invested by Tomex, and now they try to build towards the point. Sundering Blade Kite Rav could go huge, but can you find a target? No. Instead, though, Nyx finds Kurama, and now you don't have the Sundering Blade of your own. The D-Mech and Remech is there for Central Appam, but is it too little too late for VQ? They're finding a couple of picks, but can they find enough? Just about able to get away with Peekaboo. The slide there, able to get away from Rav, but the rest of the team just falls by the wayside. Kurama goes down once again. Central Appam falls eventually. And StarBits take this first early lead in this best of 5 series.
Unbelievable performance from both teams here. That was pretty close for both teams. Team StarBits very strong at the start, but that second point they held for most of it. But you're seeing as to how well those two teams, or Team StarBits, performed just off that the first point alone there, and you can see how long they were controlling that space for, and it's very clean and precise. They found their marks, and when they did find their marks, they didn't ever give space as well. Always keeping as much advantage as they can has been so beneficial for that team.
Yeah, they were able to take a lot of space, and you could see that it forced Central Appam to have to switch off of that Orisa that they tried to use, and we've seen them use before on Lijiang Tower. Just having to switch over to the D.Va, the maneuverability to be able to get into the backline was a massive, massive issue for VQ, and eventually it paid off for StarBits. They are able to take a 1-0 lead in this matchup, but looking at these two teams and how they've been able to fare previously in this tournament so far, you've got VanirQuick. No one is in a better situation than VanirQuick going into this matchup. 5-0 in terms of their wins so far, so not having dropped a single matchup, but StarBits sets Hypnos coming in as well after a win against Jaeger and another one earlier this week against Mew3 in 3-0 fashion as well. So very good standing for them. Only loss is against GG, which I believe are one of the other teams that are fairly high up in the league. But I will get that checked out for you. But this Master League is really planning out well for VQ so far, and it's not as if it's the first time we've seen them drop the first map of their tournament. We saw them lose exactly Lijiang Tower against Jaeger, and then it's exactly what they did that time as well. We've seen them go to Blizzard World every single time they have their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they've had the ability to get a map pick in. We saw them do it against Jaeger, we saw them do it against Mew3 as well, and now having lost Lijiang Tower, they go back to what's pretty much been their home so far this season in Blizzard World.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have too much to comment on these two teams, unfortunately. However, I have not seen a whole lot of Blizzard World, and if this is a map this team is comfortable on, it should be quite an interesting game, especially with the way the sweep could work out. With the team so dominant like this as well, you can see, I mean, going to a favorite like that is going to be so beneficial for them, you know?
Yeah, you just get the momentum turning back into your favor. You know that you have to take at least one map off of StarBits at Hypnos if you're going to be able to win out this series, but they've come from this deficit before, and they've made things look somewhat easy. I don't think they've even dropped 2 maps to an opponent so far
this season, having won 3-1 against Wasp x Moss in their last game last Friday as well. But I mean, it is a little bit beneficial that StarBits x Hypnos played on Monday as well. So they have the opportunity. They're coming in a little bit fresher. VQ last played last Friday, so they're coming in after a bit of a break, which sometimes can be a good thing, sometimes can really just hamper how you're going to do. But you can see Winston banned immediately from StarBits, and VQ banning the Kiriko, and it could be another situation where we've seen the Juno Brigitte, which we've seen them run a fair few times on Blizzard World already this split.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before with Kiriko especially. If you're trying to run a different comp like Juno Brig, you don't want to have something like Kiriko available. Such a strong character and usable in every situation, so you need to have a really good reason as to why you're not playing her. And banning her is an excellent reason as to why you would not be playing her. So I can't wait to see what team VanirQuick and StarBits cook up here.
Guys, Rod FD on that Iari is Jaws of Defeat snapped up VanirQuick in the first map, but they go towards the second, looking to find some ascendancy. And it is going to be StarBits defending first, so VQ will get to show their attack that's been so dominant so far on this map, getting all 3 points every single time, at least I have seen them play. But margin on this Zarya is going to be a bit of a thorn in the side of Central Apan, but we'll see them probably do exactly what they've done so far coming into attacking this objective, which is flipping the point. A lot of the time they go up to this high ground where that roller coaster is, and they try and get in behind, and in fact attacking from near enough to where the opponent's spawn is as we go to our helicopter camp here, looking there from the high ground. And imagine trying to deny that. It's going to take a little bit of time. Rav's going to be up there as well, but Kurama on this Tracer has done a lot for this team so far. Has to recall immediately, but that means that there's aggression straight onto the objective. They decide not to go too far into the backlines, instead just aggress and see what we can do. Peekaboo playing Peekaboo up over the top at the moment, and with Rav coming back into the mix, this Zarya Vendetta could be a massive handful for VanirQuick as they try to get forward. Peekaboo down low, but able to get right back up and trying to deal with Rav, but there's no dealing with someone that's bubbled in immediately, and they're going to be sent packing here. Not something we've seen often. Could this be StarBits figuring out what VQ want to do on this map?
Maybe. It would seem like a pretty strong defense there. Vanir switching off the Yachty to the Brig, calling it earlier with the Juno Brig backline is going to be good to get this team in and keep them alive. It's a lot of numbers to keep them alive in a long sustained fight. Kurama not quite winning that duel against Rav was just not what you wanted to see, but we are gearing up. Kurama trying to take this little flank, trying to poke down Majin a little bit, and yes, he does. Tomek super low, though. Important to note, it's pretty scary. Pulse Bomb available, ready to go. This could be a second pick here. Good control onto the point here for Team VanirQuick. Slow dive with the Emre ult. Doesn't get his pick, but forces some people to back off here. Are we going to contest the point? I don't think so. Pulse Bomb comes out, and it misses.
They're able to deal with that override protocol really well, and Kurama gets down Rav before the recontest can come out. It is just about there, so not fully captured yet, and they're going to invest into this. Nyx decides to pop the rally, traded out immediately by Rod FD, and immediately take out Majin. Dives for it, but Central Apan's got his back. Slow dive being the last one there. Good first capture. With 4 minutes left for VQ, looks like they are in the ascendancy at the moment. And I really liked how they played that first objective after being stalled out initially. They see how much pressure Rav's able to get with those bubbles in onto the Vendetta. So they go, well, if we can't deal with the bubbles when you're attacking us, we'll deal with the bubbles from the source. They put pressure onto Majin, and they immediately take away that Zarya. And now they look to contest this high ground. There's not much that they can do at the moment. Most of the team of StarBits just occupying that high ground that they're trying to get up to. Peekaboo could be a star player here with this overclock, and Kurama's almost built back to this pulse bomb as well. We saw that invested just before that last team fight came out, but that's the OC off the cards. Rav goes in immediately, and Kurama's not able to find the stick either. This could be VQ sent packing early in their staging of this second objective, but Peekaboo's going to come back fairly quickly, so not too much time to get the reset there, but Run of Thieves has to be so careful. Rav stuck in enemy backlines, looking for the help of the the Zarya bubbles. Just about able to stay away, but that's a huge eat from Central Apan. Takes out the grab from the back pocket of Majin, says, no, you're not having that today. And with the rest of the team staging once again, it's going to be down to Slowdive to try and hold them at bay with this override protocol. And in fact, both DPS ultimates on the table. Ravs is there as well.
Unbelievable eat there from Central Apan. That is incredible reactions, or just the great soul read, and he punishes him for it as well. The Diva Bomb coming out as that second life. 3 members of Team StarBits go down. Unbelievable performance here from VanirQuick. You're starting to see that dominance come through on their favorite map. Just surgical levels of play. I think we're going to see one more touch here. Yes, we are. Slowdive comes in with the M-Ray ult. The Orbital Strike comes in to keep the team alive. Sundering Strike as well. Who falls first? This single pick might decide the rest of this team fight here. Big damage here on the Tomax. Does he get the pick? The nade not quite close enough. Central Apan
there's no one to help Central Apan. Central Apan goes down early to Nyx, and then Kurama is able to trade it out onto Doki. Both Brigitte's popping the rally as well. Kurama not quite able to find a pulse stick once again, but rest of the team's able to stabilize. They don't have a tank presence at the moment, so they're just waiting for Central Apan to come back. Rest of the team has to make sure that they don't get picked here, but no ults on the table at the moment for either side. It's going to be a question of who can win in the neutral. Now looking to get aggressive onto the high ground is Central Apan, trying to find a way in with Rav trying to get into the backline. Could be isolated here, tries to get back to Majin, back to the safe ground, eventually does so. They look to engage onto Rod. FD low in the backline, but it's Peekaboo that goes down first. And with Majin almost having built this grab as well, it could be dangerous times here for VQ. They try and get back into this. Rav down low, but it's not going to matter if you lose Tomex, and that's exactly what happens. Majin able to capitalize once again. This Zarya has been absolutely devastating for VQ in trying to get forwards. StarBits are playing this extremely well, and the question is, have they been watching those VODs, making sure? With 30 seconds left, they're going to try and aggress through the high ground once again, VQ. Is it going to be another eat of this grab, or is it going to get the value that this ultimate can attain? Rest of the team trying to progress onto the high ground as well, but could be a shooting gallery here for Slowdive. Down low, already had that bubble to help, but Peekaboo, the star of the show at the moment, gets that headshot onto the M-Ray in the sky, sweeps them out of there. The Rays are invested for both teams, and no one touches! No one touches the objective. Round 1 complete, where it felt like they were in the ascendancy. They might have been able to get there, but no, the rest of the team can't find it. They trust Central Apan to touch, but the grab gets out onto the high ground. And
that is,
my words, it's a rough time.
Devastating.
Because it felt like they had it there.
That is absolutely devastating. The Grav coming out, shutting down the Diva boosters onto the point as well. That is heartbreaking. You know, can StarBits continue their domination here? Is this the change? Is VanirQuick show their mortality in this? This is not the best performance you want to see here, especially considering their record. And is this the first time they lose 2 maps?
I mean, it feels like they've been so locked down on this map so far, but StarBits playing it really well. That second objective, so difficult for them to approach, with Rav doing so much damage to them. And this is the issue of playing into that Zarya Vendetta, that you can just send them in. And it's so rough. And you can see Nyx immediately going on to the Jetpack Cat as well. Something we haven't seen often here. Trying to get Majin up to the high ground early, potentially swap off, and yet does go back to the spawn. Just trying to get that Zarya up a bit quicker as they look to progress over to this coaster and try and take the high ground. The rest of the team of VQ not troubling it for now. Rav trying to get an angle into the backline, going to be immediately stopped by Kurama. But with this bubble as well, trying to get in forwards is going to be broken, is going to send Rav packing for the moment. You can see how compact VQ are playing at the moment. They don't want to give Rav anything to get forwards with. Peekaboo goes down low, but the rest of the team's able to stabilize, and they send Rav packing once again. No picks so far, though. And the more this progresses, the better it's going to be for both Zarya as Peekaboo gets the first pick, but immediately traded out onto Kurama. The Vendetta's not there at the moment, but the hit scan is going to be able to help them. The question is, can Rav get in quickly enough to make sure that that trade out onto Kurama is felt? Obviously, Kurama not going to be back as quickly as Slowdive will be. The rest of the team just trying to stay safe behind these fortifications. Doesn't look like they're going to be allowed the space, though, as Majin goes forwards. And immediately, it's a first objective capture for StarBits as they look to roll forwards, perhaps find a snowball here as well, and take up 2-0 lead on this series.
That's a brutal defense there. Team StarBits taking their lead and running away with it. That was such a fast capture from this team. Very good pick there. Right at the start for Rav, taking the trade as well, even though Peekaboo's been playing so well, it's not enough. Team StarBits is so calm and they're so collected, and they're getting so much value off these trades. The overclock coming out from Peekaboo. He finds the pick on Tadaki. Not looking good for Team StarBits here. Slowdive and Rav go down as well. Kurama falls. Central Appen also going down. Nyx also falls as well. And Peekaboo, a one-man army.
Exactly what you needed coming into this fight as well. You need someone to step up, but not in that way. Maybe just plays a bit too aggressively for his own good. The rest of the team can be there for now to help stabilize this, but with Slowdive having that override protocol, with not much there to help them out on the other side, it's going to be difficult for them to engage back on this defensive side. Peekaboo getting helped back to full health, and now here's the engage from StarBits. That override protocol in immediately, looking to find the backline, and with the help of Rav, D2 found as well. It's big, it's huge, and this could be the end of dominance of VanirQuick on this map. Everyone going down. The question now is, can someone touch top of that Sunring Blade? Perhaps a little bit too early to find anything, but no, the rest of the team can't get out there. StarBits look to end the reign of VanirQuick in EMEA Masters. This team that's 5-0 currently looks a bit shaky, and you can see that off the back of Slowdive and Rav, StarBits x Hypnos really finding their footing here.
Unbelievable performance there for Team StarBits. Oh my god, Slowdive, the nades he has, he finds those really good angles of those nades and just blows up these teams. He's good with his shots, leading his shot, just excellent precision from these players. And even when they get picked once, they find their trades, so they're still even in all their fights. And when they have their advantage, they refuse to let it go. Showing that Team VanirQuick, they can bleed. They are not gods. They can bleed. That is what you want to see in a game there. That was an excellent performance from Team StarBits.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Zarya ban from the next pick. It feels like Kurama isn't quite as comfortable playing this Vendetta, and you're forced onto it with how it happened on the attack side. They get in there, they almost get to that second point, but the grab means that Central Apan can't touch, and for the rest of the time, it's just difficult for them. They go into the defensive side knowing that you're a little bit down in your luck. You know, you had a C9, maybe come back in and try and lock in, but it's an issue for them at the moment that they can't get back into this game, it seems like. And they need somewhere to go that can help them. We've seen them win Runasapi before. Could be somewhere that they can maybe force a turn, but I don't know. It's just an issue for them right now that it feels like they can't find the first pick. When they're able to get in there aggressively, but with how Rav and Slowdive are playing at the moment for StarBits Hex Hypnos, with the help of Majin as well on that Zarya, it's just too much for them to handle.
Yeah, just, Vendetta, I think, really does warp what you end up playing. You're forced onto picks that some people just don't want to play or just can't mirror at the same level. You're starting to see that, and we might see bans come out just to answer that problem just alone, and that's not the greatest use of your bans. You sometimes want to just deal with something that you don't like. A counter pick is usually how you want to use this, but it might have to be the call, and on your favorite map as well. Like that's gotta be brutal, But I do believe VanirQuick can and will lock in. This team more than capable. You see it, they're 5-0, they're undefeated. This is their first time losing 2 maps. It's not over until it's over. And I do believe that this team can clutch it out. Where are we going?
I mean, everything's on the table. We've seen them win Runasapi, we've seen them win Suravasa. It's a rough situation, though. They haven't had their backs up to the wall quite like this. There's a very big mountain for them to climb, and you only get to pick where base camp is. The rest of the maps will be decided by StarBits, but in order to get up to the peak, you've first got to take your first steps, and we'll see where they decide to go here. I really would like to see them play something like a Runasapi, but it's still a big issue that you feel like you've been so comfortable on Blizzard World. You take that pick immediately and you feel like you're in the ascendancy there, and that's taken off of you. The mental, you've just got to reset it. And as well, when you're looking at a best of 5, first to 3, and you're already down 2, you can't look at the eventuality of the reverse sweep in its totality. You've got to look at the start. You've got to control things that you have in your control. At the moment, they have control of the map pick. And I mean, the Winston isn't a bannable thing for them again. And Esperanza's the first one that we go to. We saw them taken down by Muse3 on this last week, but perhaps they've been cooking in the kitchen, and we'll see what they decide to go with. Bans could be absolutely crucial here.
Can be crucial. Esperanza and the Orisa, and there is the Emre ban. Yeah, this is not surprising. Not only were those nades finding value just in those, in those neutrals, getting good damage, good marks, and then being forced to dive onto the target, and they find their targets. And then on top of that, the ults from the Emre were just, even if they weren't getting double kills like they consistently were, forcing Team Vanir to back off was so beneficial for Team StarBits. Gave them so much space to work with. Just one ult doing that much for them is crazy work, and it's a ban that makes sense.
Yeah, you could see just the space that it was creating was as impactful, if not more impactful than the picks it was getting as well. But you can see Central Apan going immediately onto this Winston, knowing that it's on the table once again, and probably will be for the rest of this series unless they decide to ban it themselves. They force Slowdive onto this Sojourn though, and that's going to be a little less consistent damage that StarBits are going to be able to apply. And now we can see the engage in here early onto the backline. Imagine gets one, but Central Epan and Peekaboo, and they're running this double, and we saw this last week, they're running double flex DPS, which is something that I mean, we don't see teams run all the time, but looks like it's paying off for them at the moment. As I say that, though, Central Apan goes down. Tomex able to trade it out onto Rav, but you've only got Peekaboo and Tomex there at the moment, I do believe. Rest of the team is going to try and get out of spawn as quickly as possible, try to help out Peekaboo, playing around the corners as much as possible. Karama's able to get back, and now Controller Bot is not quite there for StarBits. They haven't been able to do too much here. This Hazard is going to play havoc with Central Apan's plans. You know, the shotgun is going to do a hell of a lot into this Winston, but they try and flip it round, try and play Ring a Rosie, get onto the backline. Rest of the team trying to find some aggression here, but once again, Central Apan gives up his life to find that kill. Karama trades, but immediately Slowdive picking up where he left off on that Emre, going straight over to the Sojourn and finding the kills with the rail shots.
Yes, sir. The rail shots were very good. Majin controlling so much space. I will say Tracer and another Flex DPS, that's an old school comp. Back in the days, you would throw your hit scan player onto Tracer. So this is an old school strategy we're whipping out. You don't see it too much anymore. So this is a hyper aggressive comp. They're looking to isolate one target and blow it up fast, and they found it in that first fight there. They didn't quite find it in the second, so we might see it here, especially with Sojourn, you know, being a little bit less consistent with her damage, a little more bursty. You're starting to see this come out here. Double Kitsune Rush comes out, the Pulse Bomb comes out as well. Rav dipping kind of low. Who's going to fall first? Vanir want this one pick. Tear it down comes from Majin. Doesn't find anyone, unfortunately. And Kurama and Daki both fall. Peekaboo down as well. Tomex, I think we might see some switches here from Team VanirQuick. This isn't great.
Apan, though. Apan goes crazy in the backline. And has this Primal as well, if you want to touch back in. Just has to calm down at the moment with Majin control of the space, but rest of the team is going to be there and they're going to try and chase it down. No, they just decide that bot control is more worth it for them. Now hopping up to the high ground is Apan, trying to get some space back for the rest of the team as the flood out comes from Hypnos, and immediately this star DPS time once again finding the value that they're craving. Rav and Slowdive immediately finding those early picks off the back of the overclock. The rest of the team has just no space to play in. Apan can do his best to try and find something, but no, the Primal Rage expires, and the rest of the team is having a big issue. I mean, so surely something's got to change up a little bit here. Rav and Nyx having the ult there, but Karama's able to find a pick early. Slowdive going down, that could be big for VanirQuick as they look to try and get some momentum back in. Karama going huge. 2 kills for Karama and an early pick as well for Apan, but it's traded out a little bit. They've got to be careful here that they're not flipped with Rav in the backline doing the most. Has a Sunring Blade on board as well if it's really needed. So they're going to give up control for the moment. Reset, recontest. Apan just about able to get away from that Sunring Blade, but goes down low anyway. Slowdive able to find up that kill, and just about they're able to keep Majin alive in that little room. And once again, it feels like StarBits are absolutely devouring VanirQuick at the moment. Beat invested from Rod FD, just trying to keep them back in it. Karama invests the Sundering Blade as well, and with that beat out from the other side, doing absolutely nothing against that ultimate. The rest of the team are able to shine, and it feels like they finally have control here, at least for the moment, VanirQuick.
Wow. What a fight. There's a lot to take in there. VanirQuick, you know, they were managing to stall out, but that's all they were really able to do. You know, they were able to get their one pick, but it just kind of kept being trade for trade, and they just kind of kept stalling out. But I think we're going to see a little bit of a contest here. We're getting 3 picks super early, back to back. We're back in the game now. You know, we've got control of the bot. We're back to midpoint. Forward spawns are no longer on the table. I think VanirQuick might have turned this around for themselves. This is an excellent turnaround for this team. Locked in.
Yeah, and everyone knows the rules of push. 100 meters is your target line if you want to win it out early. But the rest of the team still able to get back into it. And now with the forward spawn not on the cards for StarBits, it's going to be difficult for them. Kurama finding an early pick again. And you can see that this hyper-aggressive play is now working for VQ. It was finding some issues to start off with. They struggled to get going. But now that they're here, they are doing the most that they can with it. Margin going down, just trying to stall out, make sure the bot can't get to the forward spawn. But I think it's going to be pretty close after this fight win once again from VanirQuick.
That's what you like to see in this comp. This is what this comp was designed to do. Back in the day, it used to be a Genji, but now you have the Vendetta, who's equally, if not even more terrifying. It's so much damage all the time, and this character can stay there as well. You know, this comp looks to get in, do a lot of damage, and keep doing that damage and snowball. But VanirQuick looks like they're starting to be backed off here. The Primal being used to contest the overclock, but the overclock finding the pick onto Kurama. Big damage comes out here onto VanirQuick. Tom X and Rod both fall here off of the slow dive pick, and he's got a quadra kill almost with the penta, and all 5 from Team VanirQuick are down. Unbelievable turnaround here. This is so good from Team StarBits.
Yeah, they just had to kite there. The OC plus that Kitsune rush just more than they knew they could be able to handle. They try and get back round the corner, but Slowdive goes hunting, finds the kill at the end of that OC. And at the end there, it just completely snowballs. And you can see with no point to push, this bot has already gotten back to the forward spawn objective. Now, with this downpour from Margin, could stop this aggression once again. And Rav able to get onto Kurama early. The rest of the team able to try and get onto the backline of StarBits, but this leaves the bot able to push the objective further forward once again. It's a big issue for them. 3 ults on the table for StarBits. They've now got over 100 meters as well, which is where we say is probably going to be the biggest issues for them. Kurama not able to dodge that ultimate, but Ronifty is able to save them from the Sunring Blade of Rav, and now they try and reinvest here. Both beats invested, Nyx and Rod FD, but VQ look like they're in the upper hand here at the moment. The ults are there for them, but they want to win these with as little investment as possible. Slowdive going down to Kurama is big, and Peekaboo doubling up onto Nyx as well. Rest of the team trying to get forwards here, but 1 minute and 45 seconds left. They need to find a big stagger here onto Rav if they can. Tries to get back to the rest of the team. Peekaboo decides better of it. Just decides to go back to the rest of the group. Back up. Don't leave yourself isolated against this team because they will absolutely punish you. Rest of the team tries to go in onto the high ground. Once again, Kurama's the early
Too much damage.
The ultimate is there for Central Apan. Tries to get back into it, but they've not even found a kill here. They've got so many ults left on the board, but they're going to find it running. Peekaboo gets one onto Slowdive, but
Peekaboo gets the stick.
That pulse bomb's the only thing that they're going to get. They don't have any more investment. They've got 2 ults left to play with, but you're going to have to push pretty much the entire map to get back into this matchup. There's 3-0 looking likely for StarBits, but VanirQuick just trying to get back in as much as they possibly can. Peekaboo early damage onto Majin, but it's not much. Doesn't even chip the armor off of the Hazard. And with them close to the downpour again, they're going to look to stop this aggression that we've seen work for VanirQuick when they've found these kills. Kurama tries to get the kill early, gets that onto Majin. That's big. The investment of the Kitsune Rush as well is there. Means that it's not on the board for the rest of this map potentially, but they're able to find the kills. It could be forward spawn for them at least. That bot is going to have to hurry if they want this forward spawn objective before the pressure can come back from StarBits, but I believe they are going to get it.
10 seconds.
These fights are so long and drawn out, but both teams refusing to give up space here. You're seeing Team StarBits, once they fall back, they manage to recontest, but give no room for VanirQuick. Overtime here. Yeah, and this is going to have to be a very good fight.
Downpour's going to be so difficult, but a kill from Kurama's big. Central Apan goes down low though, taken out by Majin. Nowhere for the Winston to go, and it feels like this is the downfall of VQ. Eventually, the run had to end, but it's StarBits x Hypnos that do it in commanding fashion. A 3-0 for this team that looks like it's after a shaky start, finding their feet and could be in there contesting for these playoff places to try and get themselves into OWCS next split.
That was a dominant performance there from Team StarBits. You know, Vanir, I mean, they pulled out a super aggressive comp, and they were finding those picks, to be fair, but StarBits, I mean, the excellent and very tactical use of Hazard. You know, if you wall climb, you trigger the passive for the initiative roll over and over and over and over again, and he just couldn't die. That character cannot die right now. So excellent use of that tactic, and you know, being able to get in, stay alive, constantly disrupt the dive is so crucial. And it's just genius level plays from Team StarBits here, and we are seeing that the Titans do fall. Their first loss, that's a 5-1 for VanirQuick. Brutal loss there.
Yeah, well, they should have some time before their next matchup to think of what went wrong and what they can do better. It's a week today that they will be going up against SR Peak Check. I mean, SR Peak Check have had a rough time at the moment in this tournament, so they're going to try and find something soon, but we should be bringing you that next week. But for now, we're going to leave you after, unfortunately, a first loss for VQ in this split, but I'm sure they will be right back on it next week after they've had some time to reflect. Thank you to everyone that has brought you this stream today. We have had Luau producing. We have had Jay and KPJ as your observers. Mag and KPJ as your observers. Friday has been helping out with the production behind the scenes as well. And of course, you've had me and Derwin on the cast for you. But don't go anywhere. Check out our socials for when our next matchup will be. It's likely that it will be next week. But of course, you do know with the nature of FACEIT Masters, some teams do like to switch around when they are playing the game. So make sure that you are staying tuned there to make sure that you know when our next stream will be. But for now, it's goodbye from me, Derwin, and the rest of the production team. Goodbye.